What was your it can't be that easy / it was that easy moment in your life? One time I tightened my gas cap and the check engine light went off. Fixing clogged drains. Started out because my sink drain plug wouldn't stay up. Poked around under the sink and found the pop-up rod had rusted completely through and broken. Cost me $5 for a new one at the plumbing supply store next to where I worked at the time. Took 5 minutes to figure out how to swap, and now I know how sink and shower drains come apart, which makes unclogging them simple. Maybe it's just me, but in my brain it seemed like that was something I'd have to call a plumber to come unclog, but it's all remarkably simple. Suing someone in small claims. It was surprisingly easy because my case was rock solid and I had a professionally printed document of evidence, witness statements, and precise records sent over to the court while the defendant did literally nothing but send unlabeled loose printouts of my Facebook page as her so-called evidence. It was a very quick judgment for plaintiff. One of the kids I babysit was going through a phase of I want to be a baby again. Jealous of her sister. Weeks of gentle parenting and such. You know what worked? I was eating ice cream and she wanted some. I said babies don't get ice cream. That was it. She was done. Got a salary request when applying for a job, accidentally wrote double what I meant to write since the number keys were right next to each other. They accepted anyway. Edit, well that exploded. Worked on an almost $5 million lighting rig for a concert as a junior guy on the job. We get it all plugged in and patched but none of it would turn on. All the guys were freaking out trying to figure out why. The team collectively had about 150 years of experience. No one checked ROC if the generators were turned on. I was like no way this is why but I'll just go check if the generators are good. Flip stuff on in Viola. Found a 60 TV by the dumpster. Plugged it in, didn't turn on. Looked up common problems with the model number, bought a part on eBay for $20, replaced part, had a huge TV. Edit, wow, that is many upvotes. I didn't even know Reddit gave trophies for best comment/day and I'm kinda confused why I got it for fixing a TV. Anyways, so fun to hear about everyone's similar experiences. Let's all keep fixing shit that turns out to be $20 or less with minimal effort from not being shit. In college the professor advertised an internship and wrote the info on the board. Out of a class of 150 students, I was the only one to apply and I fulfilled my internship requirement for graduation. Tying shoelaces. When I was a kid, no one ever managed to teach me how to tie my shoes. I remember never being able to get that last step that ties it all together and in general I suck with knots. I would have been garbage in the Boy Scouts. I got into my early 20s relying mostly on Velcro shoes. But one day I sat down with a pair of new shoes determined to figure it out. I put one on and tied it correctly on the first try. I just sat there dumbfounded for a few minutes wondering how it had been that easy all along. I started looking for a job last year and got 3 offers within 2 months, 2 of which were significantly higher pay. Made me realize I've been sitting around way too long. I was recently looking for an apartment and rent in my city, like most cities currently, is outrageous. So after 3 days of looking I found this 2-bedroom apartment with a price that normally would get you a roach-infested 1-bedroom/studio shithole in a bad part of town. But these apartments look nice, they're in a good part of town. The reviews online are all positive. I can't figure out the catch. Then I see there is a year-long wait list for this place, but I decide to go to the leasing office and after talking to the property manager, I get bumped to the top of the list for an apartment that becomes available next month. I keep waiting for the bottom to drop out. Most people spend months looking for places in my city and they'd be paying a third more than I'm paying at a minimum for a similar place. I looked for 3 days and found this place, but I think I just got lucky and it was just that easy. I never slept well, ever. There's an over-the-counter magnesium supplement called Calm. I drink a cup every night and sleep like a hibernating bear. It was that easy. Actually doing the chore you put off for a few days. I had a loose hinge on my door. It kind of drove me crazy for 3 years, but I had no idea how to fix the wood that had been stripped. Then I found a product on Amazon for $10 where you shove on a sleeve, break it off and then screw in the new screws. Bought 2 new hinges that don't squeak. Took about 10 minutes and cost $20 and it's no longer a problem. Edit, product is called Screw It Again. About $10 for 10 of them on Amazon. Edit, thank you for all the tips about using matches, golf tees, shims, etc. Making my username. What movie do you enjoy that you will 100% agree is a bad movie? The core. I'm paraphrasing here, but there's a portion in the movie where everyone says it can't be done, but one guy takes a drag on a cig and says, "But what if we could?" The entire movie progresses on that point. Deep Blue Sea. I mostly enjoy that one unexpected scene. Check it out. Flash Gordon was released in 1980, but re-released this year in 4K. Bad, but in the best way. And that Queen soundtrack. Street Fighter with Raul Julia as Bison and Kylie Minogue as Cammy. Oh, and a Samoan bloke as E Honda, because 90s. The core. Terrible movie, lack of science or logic, but I just find it so gripping. Fool's Gold. It's a dumb movie that makes no sense, but for some reason I go back and watch it at least once a year and enjoy it every time. Accepted. It's terrible and hilarious, has Justin Long at the peak of his teen movie years, and features Louis Black as a version of himself as a jaded professor. So good. Gone in 60 seconds. Say what you will, but I can watch this every day. Batman and Robin is certainly a bad movie. I love it so much. It's worth watching for Arnold and his puns alone. But the whole movie is just campy fun. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It's so much fun and I love the Nautilus. Hackers. Hack the Planet. The Cutting Edge. Van Helsing. It's Hugh Jackman, Kate Beckinsale a la the glory days of 2004. It's got a 27% on Rotten Tomatoes. 6/10 on IMDb, but there's something about the dry jokes smattered in what's supposed to be high-tension scenes, or scenes of sexual tension. The special effects aren't the greatest, but at the same time it also adds to the experience. House Bunny. Ghost Ship. If you could experience a video game for the first time again, what would it be? Portal 1 and 2, it's just not the same once you know the puzzles. Knights of the Old Republic, for the reveal. Mario 64. Boring answer, but it was such a mind-blower when it came out. Zelda: A Link to the Past. Playing Stardew Valley with my wife was beautiful. Mass Effect series. Subnautica 100% baby. World of Warcraft. I still feel nostalgic for walking into Ironforge for the very first time. Skyrim. I can't start a new game without getting 10 hours in and realizing I've done everything and I know exactly what's coming, but that first playthrough was full of wonder. To climb the 1,000 steps and the terror of that first frost troll. Getting lost in those side quests for days and then finally realizing Delphine was still waiting for me to go undercover for her in the main quest. The first time I saved Vampire Lady from her hidden tomb and saying to myself aloud, "Is that a motherfucking Elder Scroll on your back?" only to have the actual option of asking that question 2 seconds later. Fighting medieval Joker after he burnt down my assassin HQ. Skyrim, man. Skyrim. Bioshock. Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Outer Wilds, and it's not even close.